the road. I'm dragging this tree at the side of the car. By the time we got there, we were about 45% of the pine needles, but we had a Christmas tree.
Yes, we did. Thank you so much.
My pleasure.
But an unforgettable memory. I mean, because I was, I was scared.
Well, all of a sudden you became the unwitting accomplice.
Yeah, it's like, oh my
to
God.
A hoodlum.
Yeah, I mean, we can't afford a tree. Definitely can't afford bail.
Yeah, but see, bail came with 3 meals. You got to remember, look at the upside.
Speaking of meals, okay. So the reason why we would get to the Rainbow at midnight is because it took us about an hour to walk from Melrose, go by Mayfair.
In heels.
Oh yeah, it's stiletto heels. Yeah. By the time we went from Switzerland, Melrose, by the Mayfair Market, which is, I mean, it's, you stealing steaks and stealing the Christmas tree. How come they never put 2 and 2 together? That's the guy.
I'm an Italian from New York. That's all you need to know.
So, in our walk from Sweetser to Mayfair, which was like, what was Kings Road and Santa Monica, right? By then, we were hit enough telephone booths. Kids, we had telephone booths back in the day. That sometimes people left quarters.
Right.
Then we just
and they would drop change and not pick it up.
Exactly. So by the time this happened every single night, we never stay home.
Yep.
Because staying home was a missed opportunity.
And also staying home meant four people, 4 out of 6 people in one room at one time.
Yeah. And so we were trying to avoid that, any conflict. So we by the time we got to Mayfair, we had the dollar from all the quarters and dimes that we would be collecting to buy plain wrap wine.
Right. $1's worth.
A box of plain wrap wine, right? So we would drink as we walked on a walk.
Yeah, you had to get a buzz before you walked into the Rainbow.
That's
because
right.
if you didn't, it was all lost.
And by the time we got there, by the courtesy of strangers, we were asked to sit down and they would buy us drinks or pizza. Sometimes, yeah.
Sometimes when that didn't happen, I developed the cruise. Now the cruise is when you stand at the front on the inside of the Rainbow, and you watch the people that are eating and are actually so involved in their conversations or so drunk that you can walk by, pick up a slice of pizza in one smooth move and keep walking and eat it. And so by the time you go all the way around the inside of the Rainbow, you have had that slice of pizza. Now you're thirsty. So you do the cruise again. This time you target the drink closest to the edge of the table, regardless of what it was. And you drank that. And you repeat it over and over again.
Oh, God.
Yeah. The cruise.
Now, during this time, we befriend Cindy with an S.
That's right.
Who was Ringo Starr's
personal secretary.
So all of a sudden, we are staying at Ringo's house because he's out filming Caveman or some movie.
No, I think what happened at the time is he was or still is he's a dual nationalist.
Yes.
So he can only spend 6 months of the year in Los Angeles, and the other 6 months he spends in Monaco. And so this was the cycle at that point.
Exactly. And so we were staying there.
Yeah.
And
at Ringo's house, one of the Fab Four.
At Ringo's house. And many strange things happened in that house. One of them being that the Manson family. Mm-hmm. Okay, this is 1976, 75, 76. Yeah, 76. And Manson was already in jail, but the family was still out there. Yeah. And they thought that the Beatles were like these, Helter Skelter connection and all of that, with the Manson murder.
Yeah, so the Manson family became very familiar with Ringo's house.
Yeah.
Yes.
And they used to watch the house. Mm-hmm. They had this Volkswagen
Beetle that used to pull up.
Yeah.
And then stop.
They stop. And this is, it was in Sunset Plaza Drive, which is a lot of the houses are, it's a very winding road.
Right.
So if your house was on a flat, behind you would be a hill with a road.
Right.
You know, it's steep drives, and so you could see people driving behind your home or parked, and the Manson family would park and overlook us, and we're going like, oh shit.
Yeah.
And then at night we would be watching TV in the living room. We would hear people running on the roof.
Yeah. And I remember one time I was in the kitchen helping myself to some of Ringo's food from Greenblatt's, and a face. There was a door, and there was a face there, and it was like I was 50% afraid of the face and 50% afraid that the face was going to take my sandwich. So I took the sandwich and just walked out of the kitchen, backed out of the kitchen. You know. Oh yeah.
And another day, I hear a knock on the door,
Yeah.
and I go and I kind of like semi-open, and I go, "Oh shit, George Harrison." Because I don't know if we were supposed to be there or not. You know, just Cindy said, Ringo's out of town, come and stay. You know.
Yeah, we don't know how on the up and up this was.
Yeah, exactly.
And we were not going to ask.
So I run to you and go, "Oh, Frankie, George is here. George Harrison." And say, "Okay, I'll take care of it." So you open the door.
You
go ahead.
No, I can't.
Because I'm behind you. I'm kind of like I don't want to be seen. You know.
I can't do it.
Yeah. Okay. So basically, you open the door and he says, "Yes, may I help you?"
To George friggin' Harrison.
And he was kind of shy and kind of like looking at his shoes and going, "Oh yeah, is Richie here?" And you're going, "Well, no, he's not here. And would you like to leave him a message?" You know, yeah. So a lot of fun things happened, and then one day, oh yeah.
Oh, let me tell you. This you wouldn't know because this happened after the fact. George Harrison had Dark Horse Records, and the offices and the studio for Dark Horse Record was on Barham and not La Cienega, but Barham
Doheny
and Doheny. Right.
No, well, Doheny, Barham. No. I know, yeah, I got it.
Well, you know
yeah,
where
yeah,
it is,
yeah.
and so I went there because I was going to audition for of all bands, the Average White Band. Go figure. And George was there, and he goes, "Hello." I said, "Hi. You look familiar." And I said, "Mr. Harrison, I don't believe we've ever met."
So eventually, Ringo leaves the house. He's actually, I think he bought.
Well, there was a fire at his house.
Yeah.
And he bought another house.
Nothing to do with us.
No, nothing to do. We've already vacated. We had cleaned out his refrigerator. There was nothing there for us at that point. But he was moving to another house, and it was during the cycle where he had to be gone again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And actually, Cindy said, "Listen, why don't you give Richie? Why don't you help him out move?" So we actually went back to the house and helped him put things away, like his personal, things that he didn't want the movers.
Yeah, he didn't want Beacons. He was using Beacons movers, and he didn't want them specifically to move his drums.
Yeah.
So that's some of the things that we were
So we actually helped Ringo move from that house to his new house, which was in Woodrow Wilson Drive.
Woodrow Wilson Drive, yes.
Yeah, near the Zappa's place, right?
Yes.
And he gave us $20.
He gave us $20. That's right.
And we looked at him and we said, "We're never spending this."
Until half an hour later.
We went to the Rainbow and it was gone.
And we spent those $220s as fast as we could.
My God.
The really great thing about Ringo is that a few months after that, Cindy calls me up to the office. So I went up to the office, which was quite a hitchhike, and there was Ringo had just put out a record. It was called Ringo the Fourth, and he had signed it, and it said to Frankie, "Keep up the great work, Ringo," and we threw the little star. And I mean, this is Ringo Starr.
Yeah.
This is the drummer who was singularly responsible for me being here today.
Yeah.
For me doing what I do.
Yeah.
It's a treasure. I couldn't believe it.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe it.
No,
Out of many things that I lost during that period of time, that was not one of them. So.
So moving on. I mean, we're not even there yet. So
the podcast to end all podcasts.
So now we are okay. So we're going. So this band with a singer that we're not going to mention the name, and we actually did one gig.
Yes, we did at the Starwood.
At the Starwood,
and it was well reviewed.
Yes, it was.
It was well reviewed.
But one gig,
Yeah.
and we needed a drum riser because there's no way that you can be a rock band with a drummer without being on the drum riser. You have to have a drum riser. So what do we do?
Well, understanding that we needed a drum riser, understanding that we had very little skills in building. Well, I had some skill from doing construction as a kid, but the first thing I did is I went to another building site and stole a pair of bolt cutters. Now, you have no idea how difficult it is to stick a pair of full-size bolt cutters down your sweatpants and try to walk like you're not a casualty from the Vietnam War.
Yeah,
right?
but you're Italian. It's expected for you to walk like that.
Okay. What's that guy? He's got a gun? Was that a gun? Was that a gun down there? Is that a gun in your sweatpants? So then the next thing was to once again make Bob Bartlett the unwitting participant by borrowing his station wagon, and we were the common people and Sweetser and Melrose down on the flats, but up Crescent Heights, you could see these houses, these like unbelievable houses that were probably being built for rich rock stars, so you and I get into Bob Bartlett's station wagon. You once again are my driver, and we go to this building site, and I take out the bolt cutters. I cut the chain, open up, and steal 8 sheets of plywood, premium grade. Not the stuff they use on the roof that that they cover up. I'm talking premium grade plywood, and we put it in the back of Bob Marlette's station wagon and bring it back over to the house. Now, before we could start building it, I knew that I had to paint it black. And so this is when I used to make my run. I used to walk from Sweetser and Melrose to Melrose and Western, which is quite a walk. And on that walk, I would collect bottles and put them in a plastic bag. And when the bag got too full, I'd stop at a market and cash in those bottles, and then ended up going to a paint store and buying a gallon of paint. And if I had any money left over, this is when Carl's Jr. first introduced what I believe is the first ever all-you-can-eat salad bar, which in due course I was banned from that Carl's Jr. And I brought that gallon of flat black paint back, and we made our little drum riser.
Oh my God! I mean, we're not endorsing this sort of behavior.
Yeah, listen, this kind of behavior it's absolutely wrong,
and it's unacceptable.
Unacceptable. Yeah. No one should copy it, and we have learned valuable lessons from. Some well-meaning misdeeds.
But we burned the ship when we went to LA. There was no going back.
No, that's it.
It was survival.
That's it. The only improvement would have been Attica. Okay. Okay.
I mean, but we knew where to draw the line. I mean, we didn't get involved in becoming drug dealers.
No. I mean, it was to a certain degree harmless. Mm-hmm. Pranks that came out of desperation, and not understanding the word no, that you can't do this.
Yeah.
We wanted a drum riser because if you were going to be what we consider a professional musician in a professional band playing a professional venue, you have to have a drum riser, and so you couldn't afford to buy it, so you did the next best thing. You stole it.
Well, you built it.
Yes,
we built it.
Yes, we built that city.
Yeah, exactly.
On rock and roll.
Yeah, and that band ended one day when our singer actually goes out of town, really far away, like Machu Picchu
Yes.
in Peru.
Yes. When